Jeez, the luck continues in round 2. We win the die roll. Yep, I'm gonna play first. This guy in the table, I don't know, he was sitting across from me, I don't know where he was at. Well, not super lucky. I'm gonna keep this hand because I got lands and spells, but 2 5-drops is a bit rough. We'll see just how fast my opponent is, but remember, I have a really low curve. Well, maybe not really low. Really low is a little bit intense, but I definitely have enough like 2s and 3s where I don't think I'm gonna get trampled. Built the deck so that wouldn't happen. Black opponent, ooh, and a nice 2-drop. Talk about not getting trampled. So this is pretty cool. We got a 2-drop and a 3-drop. Hopefully something by 4. We'll get the Totem Guide Heartbeats down to find our suppression bonds so I can deal with any big old threat. Reeve Soul, sure, take out my 2/2. That's fine. That's just fine. I'm sure my opponent's also fine with it. Opponent's just looking to not get too far behind. If we don't draw any relevant 4-drop, remember I have a lot of 4-drops in the deck. At least the Elvish Visionary will help us keep digging for some CADs. Something relevant. Quite happy with the first trade of the game. Opponent only has a 2-drop, not a 3-drop. And we have Elvish Visionary, which counteracts the Subterranean Scout quite nicely. So our hand's matching up really well here. We're going to see what we draw first before deciding what to play. And Knightly Valor. Alright, definitely want to get the Totem Guide Heartbeast down next turn. I don't want to wait any longer in case I miss a... gives me more options to draw the Suppression Bonds, and then I don't really get the card advantage I'm looking for. I mean, it's not the end of the world if next turn I draw Suppression Bonds. It's still a good card to have in hand, but I miss out some value, which is never cool. Never, ever. If I draw Suppression Bonds, then I will just go ahead and play the Rock Maulers instead, considering it's a way better 5-drop. Nonetheless, 2/5 will never be irrelevant. It's just whatever. Happy to make the block here. I don't want my opponent's representing, but Elvish Visionary has done its duty for the day. It'll take any trick or any... yeah. I will let Elvish Visionary take a Titan Strength all day, every day. Get that combat trick out of hand. Is there a follow-up play, though? No. That puts us in a really good spot. I'm not quite ready to F6. Is there anything in Just Black? No, there's nothing in Just Black that makes me want to wait. Yeah, normally you'd always play this creature second main phase, keep all the mana open, but since there's nothing in this format that I'm worried about, doing all of this before attacks... Did I click yes? I wanted to click yes. My decks. Just thinking hard here. Just thinking... What? A little bit of lag there. I failed to find my suppression bonds. That's annoying. Hopefully I'm far enough ahead where that won't matter. Certainly that's not a guarantee the way the board's going. I've had some favorable trades at the moment, but ooh, that's painful. That's so painful. Yeah, I clicked one too many times. There goes the Unholy Hunger. Still okay, that's taking out the Totem Guide Heartbeast. Still ahead on what our board states are doing. My opponent has 3 cards in hand, just like me. I gotta start digging for some more power. I'm happy just to play the Rock Maulers here, to be honest. I could do the Empaths to set up my next turn, but I'd rather just put pressure on the table. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna do the Knightly Valor as my last 5-drop, since there might still be some like more Unholy Hungers and whatnot. I'm gonna leave up the Prevent All Damage spell because it's the best one. Make my opponent think twice. I'm really curious to see if this, if I had I wouldn't have played the Suppression Bonds, of course, but curious to see how that would affect this game. If like some big bomb comes down that I can't deal with, and that wins the game. That'll be very interesting. Now my opponent pretty much has to use a removal spell on the Rock Maulers, and then that clears the way for Knightly Valor. Magmatic Insight, not going to do a whole lot here, though my opponent has enough mana where it's not like it's the end of the world. It's flooding out a little bit, so it's helping out, but I'm not scared to see that. Definitely not scared to see Mage Ring Bully in any way, shape, or form. Or an Nantuko Husk, although the Husk does mean that the Rock's Mauler is quote-unquote stopped. Let's see. I can attack in with the Orchard Spirit no matter what. Do I want to, like, Knightly Valor up the Rock's Mauler and make it a 5 or a 6/6? My opponent would have to sacrifice the entire board just to trade. And I'm still left with a 2/2 with 4 power on the board and a Llanowar Empoth to follow up. I kind of love that idea, to be honest. It just forces my opponent to go there. And my opponent might even have to just think twice before even... I'm only doing this because my opponent's tapped out. If not, I might have like put on the Orchard Spirit, have a 4/4 evasion dude. I just like, with my opponent only having 1 card in hand, and me having control of the board, I want to put this pressure on. Because again, my opponent has to consider this block, or if not, just takes 8 damage, half a life total. Could get a little precarious if my opponent has like an active treason as the last card in hand, steals it, bashes through, sacrifices. I get that. Let's see if my opponent has that or not. Apparently not. Ooh, Priest of the Bloodrite. That's really good with an Nantuko Husk. You just sacrifice this dude. And you get left with a flying demon. I think we're far enough ahead where this doesn't really stabilize the board. But still, my opponent can be blocking the Rock's Maulers all the time. And the demon holds back the Orchard, whomever. We definitely get to eat the Mage Ring Bullet. Well, who's attacking with the Husk? So my opponent sacrifices. With 6/6, could sacrifice the Goblin, come in 8/8. I think we just eat the Mage Ring Bully, to be honest. Is that right? I mean, it's still all of these creatures trading for the Rock's Mauler. At which point, my opponent's left with the Demon, and I'm with these guys? No, because I want my Maulers alive. My opponent should not have attacked with the Husk. Titan Strength doesn't kill the Mage Ring Bully. I get a bash back with my dude. My opponent might have just wanted to get some 4 damage in, but who cares? I have like a way better card right now. Yeah, my opponent should have kept the Husk back for defense. Okay. Let's see what I draw. I can't play any of my 4 drops if I draw it, so it doesn't really matter which mana I keep up. We'll put you on the bottom, you on top. Happy to have another land. We'll attack in for sure with the 8/8. That's the only thing to attack in with. I'm probably just going to chump so it doesn't take 2 points of life here. That's okay. I have trample damage. It's actually the same amount. Alrighty, so that happens. Opponent takes 6, goes down to 2. And we get to play another lethal creature. Alrighty. Languish clears the board pretty nicely, but I still have my big guy. The rare, well, Languish is rare too. The Chandra rare, the 5 mana, deal a bunch of damage based on the creature. I forget what it's called. That could wreck. Still, my Mauler would stay alive. But I'd go down to 4, so that would be dangerous. I don't play around the rare until I see them, but I'm just thinking about ways I would possibly have lost that game. Opponent didn't have those. Yeah, I really don't think my opponent should have attacked with that Nantuko Husk. Aerial Volley doesn't really do a lot against that big old demon. Didn't see other flyers, though my opponent's in a deck where like there could be a bunch of Thopters running around or something, but I'm going to keep it the same way. Run it back. This is a sketch keep. My opponent's keeping, though. I mean, there's a 3-drop and a Titanic Growth. I tend to keep these. I'm more worried about when I mulligan and there's like nothing else, so I keep the flood, even though I know that a 5-land hand is a bummer. But oh, I didn't know my opponent was that aggressive. I mean, my opponent's in red-black, but I was definitely not thinking my opponent was really like pounding through the 1-drops here. This guy's gonna do quite a bit of work. Yeah, I might get pretty punished here as my opponent curves out nicely. Might have a 3-drop to follow in, and then, I mean, I'm just drawing lands. Got my 6th land ready to go. We're all, ho-ho! Not gonna lie, that's pretty rough. Keeping a 5-lander and then drawing 2 lands is, oy. But, that was my choice. I chose to keep all 5 of my lands. Maybe I should play my plains to represent. Oh, wow. I don't know how I'm gonna come back from this. The Knight of Pilgrim's Road trades, and that's it. And then there's still 5 points of menace damage bashing through. Can't block. Yeah, I'm just going to get run over this game. Llanowar Impoth will eventually get there. Might help with some getting card advantage online. I am going to do the trade. I just need to prevent damage from happening. Is that true? Is trading these guys worth it? Am I ever going to be able to attack? That's the question. Also, having more creatures down allows block. Well, I guess I don't really have a choice anyway. Yeah, run over. The runs, as it were. So runny. Down to 8 life. Still can't block 5 of it. Llanowar Impoth is just a chump. I'm still going to play it out. See what happens. Alright, what's happening? Irregulars might be one way to get into this game. If I go down to 1, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to show my opponent their irregulars. I don't mind showing my opponent the Timberpack Wolf, but I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I just don't see how I get out of this. If I either go to 1 and then I have 2 menace creatures that I won't be able to deal with. Oh yeah, well, I'm dead anyway. Period. Yeah, I'm not going to show my opponent any more cards. I don't think there's a way to survive. Maybe I would have bottomed looking for the Sentinel of the Eternal Watch. But, yeah. I'm only showing cards that my opponent's seen. I don't want to show my opponent any more cards, so we'll just let this go. I'm dead, but I never concede. That's a thing. I've definitely had people lose out. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm so far behind. But I've had people who've like had wins that they should have had, and so they didn't concede, it's able to snatch some games away. So once the attacks come through, though, there's nothing that changes. There's no more decisions to make, so I'll just go ahead and rock that concession now. And beware, my opponent does actually have a much more streamlined, aggressive deck than I anticipated, and some good removal for it. Interesting to note. I don't think it changes the deck build. I still don't think I'm bringing the Aerial Volley. Could bring in the Guardians if I feel like I need that. There's no... Maybe a Yoked Ox. I don't think I'm going to bring those in, but let me just double check my creature curve. A lot of 2s, lots of 3s. I'm going to be on the play this time. I don't want the Yoked Ox, I don't think. Do I ditch a 4-drop just to have more defense online? I think I do. Goodbye. I have plenty of high end. I don't need it. I just don't want to get run over. Definitely playing first. This is... Wow. This is so easy for me to get run over. I need to draw lands for this hand to work, and even then, they have to be like the perfect set of hands. It just sucks going down to 6, but I have to mulligan this. Oh, look how powerful this this hand is, though. But against my opponent, I'm going to get run over. It's a little bit better, but not great. I'll keep it. One Plains should do a lot of work in helping me get to my 6-drop. But that's really my game plan. Try to stay alive till I can get up to, you know, 4 more lands. It's going to be a lot of turns before that happens. Opponent does have a 1-drop. Oh, look. Another 5. Or not another, I guess a 5. I have 3 5-drops and a 6-drop in my deck, which is high, which is the reason why I put the curve a little bit lower. Might have been right to take out the Heart Beast and keep a 4-drop on. I don't know. Subterranean Scout, my opponent attacks in for 2. I just need to draw... I need to go like land spell, land spell. Lands. Trade, trade, trade. Can't block. Hey, there we are. Not attacking. Do I block the Subterranean Scout? I don't know. I think I do. I think my only hope to win anyway is to be drawing lands and deploying the 3-drops. I think I lose if I don't. So I think I do just preserve my life total. Make a trade. Put it as an offer to me, which is nice. A land is good. Would definitely love to get that Plains online next turn. There might start being some hope if I do like Plains, play Totem Guide Heartbeast after the night, and then look for suppression bonds and maybe stabilize. Depends how powerful my opponent's hand is. Reeve's Soul takes out a dude. Attacks in for 3. I'm not blocking. We'll block the other ones again, preserving life total. I'll eat the Thornbow if my opponent lets me. Preserve the life total! Oh my gosh, the worst draw ever! Passing the turn. Alrighty. This next 2 sets of turns determines the game. If my opponent has a really strong follow-up, like a Cobble Root. Strong because I'm so far behind that this is just going to be pounding through. I'm taking 4 damage here, and will continue to, even if I draw perfectly. And by perfectly, I mean I've got to get a Plains next turn. Absolutely need must. That ain't it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. F6. I like my mulligan decisions, though. I don't think it was right to keep the first hand. That was so high. I don't think I wanted to go down to, whatchamacallit, 5 either, based on the hand I had. It's just the variance of the Magic the Gathering, the game. Okay, ouch. Pretty sure there's nothing that comes back from this, but we'll take a look. Yeah, and there's no land, so we'll just move on to the 3rd round. Boo on this match. Let's win the next one, shall we? That's my game plan. See you then.